guys, Rachel here with Yarn at Play Crochet. Today I'm going to do a tutorial on this offset fillet mesh stitch. This works up super duper quickly and it is a really great stitch for summer. It can be turned into all kinds of wonderful lightweight lacy cardigans. Or this, what I'm making right here is I'm planning on turning this into a beach cover up for my daughter. And it works up really quickly, really easily. It's got kind of that fun sort of zigzaggy effect through it. And it is a really simple stitch. It is a single row repeat. This is one of those stitches where once you get it in your fingers, you can just go on autopilot, and before you know it, your project is just worked up beautifully because it goes so fast. So let's get started on this, and I will show you how we can make this beautiful stitch here, the offset fillet stitch. So I've started out here with a row of foundation single crochet. If you want to learn how to do the foundation single crochet, I will cue that up here so you can go back and watch that tutorial. But for this stitch, you want to be working in any even multiple, and then you're just going to be adding 4 chains on the end of it, 2 before you do your turn. So I made a foundation single crochet row. If you want to do just straight chains, you absolutely can. Just make sure that no matter what you're working into, that you start with an even number of stitches, any even number, and then you're going to want to chain 4 on the end. So I have 16 foundation single crochet stitches worked up here, and now I'm going to chain 4 on the end before I make my turn. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I'm going to turn my piece, and I'm going to skip my first single crochet here, and I'm going to do a double crochet into that second stitch. So yarn over, insert your hook, so you have those 2 on your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, and pull through 2. Now you're just going to chain 1 stitch, and then you are going to skip the stitch here and work to your next double crochet into the second stitch there. So yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. You can see our mesh pattern starting to come together. So the way that the stitch works, it's a repeat the whole way across the row of double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, all the way across to create that beautiful mesh pattern. So we're going to chain 1, skip a stitch, double crochet into the next stitch, and chain 1, and double crochet, not into the next, but skip a stitch and go into the next one there. Chain 1, and skip a stitch and do your next double crochet into the next stitch. Chain 1, double crochet into the second stitch, chain 1, double crochet into the second stitch, chain 1, and as I'm coming up to the end of my row, it might look like there's more, like there's another stitch here, but there's not. This is the last stitch and this is the last stitch. So I'm going to double crochet into my last stitch of my foundation chain. And now I'm going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, then turn my work here. And now with most fillet crochet, you work into the top of these double crochet stitches here, but we are not going to be working into the top of those stitches. We're going to be working into these big gaps. And so that's what gives it the offset fillet crochet mesh. So now that you have your chain 4, we're going to double crochet into this big gap right here. So yarn over, double crochet, chain 1, and into the next big gap. So once you get past that first chain of stitches, you don't even have to be wondering or guessing or thinking about skipping stitches at all. You just work into the big gaps. And that is what makes this stitch just absolutely fly. Chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1 again. Now that we're here at our corner, you're going to have this, which it was our chain 4. We're going to do the exact same thing. We're just going to do our double crochet stitch into this big gap here. And that's all there is to it. And then you chain 4 and you turn your row. Turn your work and double crochet into that next big gap right there. And these edges do straighten out as you go. So it might seem a little bit wonky, or your stitch, like sometimes this double crochet here can maybe be slidden over. Like if you worked it really close, you might look like you have this big loop here. Just scooch that stitch over, and as you go, it'll line itself up and it comes to a nice straight edge. So if turning corners is intimidating to you, this is about as simple of a corner turn as you get. So this is a really wonderful stitch for summer. It works up great, it works up really fast, and it gives that fun zigzagged effect. This is a fantastic beginner stitch and something that can look really lacy and really fun and like you worked really hard. And it's just those 2 basic stitches. So again, I'll show you this piece here. You can see that kind of zigzagged effect as you go. And it just works super fast and super easy. I worked the front panel of this dress in probably a total of an hour. It did not take me long at all. So considering that this is just going to be 2 panels, and then I'm going to sew or crochet the edges together in some spots around to make like a nice beach cover up for my daughter, this whole beach cover up project for her could probably take me total 3 hours between crocheting and sewing and weaving in ends and everything else. So super fast project. I will do a tutorial on that, on how once I get everything done, so you can see how I sew up my rounds to turn it into a beach cover up. But if you are working for like a crochet cardigan, something nice and lacy for summer, if you just do it in panels, these are super fast panels to work up and can be turned into all kinds of beautiful things. So I hope that was helpful. If you found this video helpful, if you enjoyed this tutorial, be sure to subscribe to my channel for more yarn reviews, yarn hauls, and tutorials. And please give this video a like. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time.